I think that it's interesting that in our community, we still have these individuals who are exploring lesbian, gay, queer, whatever identity you ascribe to. They're exploring that, but also with these deep set religious beliefs that literally condemn their identity. Don't come in my comments telling me what I need to do. Don't tell me what scripture I need to read, because I'm gonna tell you what you need to read as well, right? And so if you want to give your opinion, be ready for opinion in return, right? You should not have to believe in hell to deserve heaven on earth. Hey y'all, welcome back to Face Philosophy. If you're new here, hey honey, make yourself home and subscribe. Speaking of subscribers, I've reached 300 subs. Yay! I'm really excited about that, so I wanted to make this video to continue to grow my tribe. Now I ain't gonna lie, I'm probably gonna lose some with this video, but it's important to me to be authentic and, to speak truth, speak facts. And so I really wanted to talk about my experience with dating in a space like Texas, where it is deeply religious, right? I grew up in the Bible Belt. We know how that go, right? And so according to the thumbnail, it says why, but technically we're not going to be talking about why today, because we know the why. It's cultural, it's, social, it's all different things that contribute to why lesbians would be deeply religious. But I think the impact is what I mainly want to focus on today, and how specifically it impacted my dating experience. It may be impacting yours. If you haven't already, please go check out my video about lesbian dating and my experiences. It's a more broad video, but I feel like the topics are just as important as this one, because this is a more specialized video that kind of bridges off of what I talked about for my experiences dating in general. And I think that this topic is really important because I feel like it's kind of like an overarching theme of why those issues from our previous video were showing up as well. What I was so shocked to see this go around in the dating realm was deep religiosity. I mean, to the point where, like, it's in the bio, what's your relationship with God? How do you feel about God? Love Jesus, praise Jesus. I just was not expecting that from a bunch of lesbians, right? And so, as a person who grew up in the South, I grew up in the Bible Belt. I still live in the Bible Belt to this day. I live in Texas. So it's not too much of a shock to me, but I think community and the context was what was really shocking to me. I mean, to the point where, like, immediately when I told them, like, hey, I'm a scientist, so, God isn't really my thing. Like, I'm not against there being a God, but I also don't follow or praise one. Like, it became a barrier to even getting to know people. And I thought that was very interesting, because I feel like that goes against a lot of religions, right? Like, closing out other people and not being welcoming. I think that goes directly against it, but hey, I might be wrong. So like, that experience was most shocking to me. Like, it's not even about them being religious, more so like how they go about their religion, and how, I feel like that impacted the way that they pursued their lesbian identity. And we're gonna get into more of that in a second. Like I said in a previous video, I do not like to do horror stories, but I gotta talk about this one, because thinking about this situation that happened, can't even call it a relationship, situation that happened, made me think about this video and how to approach it in a respectful manner as someone who doesn't believe in any God. So I think, yeah, this is my second time recording this, by the way. Okay, give me a moment. Okay, so I'm talking to Shorty, right? I met her, and don't judge me, y'all, but I was dating on Facebook dating. Okay. Like, I know it's a little ghetto on Facebook, and we know that, but I'm from the hood, and I like my girl with a little, with a little edge to her. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm college educated. I got me a little nuance to me, but I do like a hood girl. I'm not even gonna lie. So, and that was another nuance in the dating sphere. And if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. But getting to this story. So I matched with this beautiful woman on Facebook. And mind you, I did not like her. I swiped to the left on her because in the bio, it says something like, make sure your relationship with God is strong and our relationship will be stronger, something like that. And I was like, yeah, no, we're not gonna vibe. And no hard feelings. It's just, I don't want to, put either of us in a difficult situation, right? And so she likes me, and so I'm like, well, I have on my dating profile that I am agnostic, more so leaning towards atheism now, but yeah, kind of agnostic, because like I said, I'm not against the idea of a God, but I don't worship one. I don't it's not likely to me that there is one. So that's how I see it. And she liked me, so I liked her back. I was like, well, let me give it a try, because I thought she was beautiful. And if I'm being honest, I was really looking for the shwap, doo-wop, doo-wop, doo-wop. If I'm being honest, if y'all know what I mean, y'all know what I mean. But like, yeah, like I just was not expecting all of this. And so we get to talking, and she's like cool. She's like really cool. And I didn't think that she was gonna go about the conversation the way that she did, but like she immediately like asked me like, what's your relationship with God? And I'm like, okay, like I'm just talking to you to get to know you in a different way. Like I feel like that is a definitely like a deep, intimate, and personal thing. And I didn't mind it because I was looking for something serious on the dating app. I'm not just on there just to, you know, have situations, but I was, you know, looking for the shoo-wop, doo-wop, you know, like I said, but also like something serious. I had that in my bio, so I was willing to get to know somebody and build something so I could get my shoo-wop, doo-wop. And so I'm talking to old girl, and like she just automatically asked me this question, and I'm like, okay. And I told her, I'm like, well, I don't, you know, I'm a scientist, I don't really believe, right? And she just starts asking me all these questions about like paranormal stuff and like what do I think about that, and like, you know, I'm answering perfectly fine. And you know, she started asking me about my beliefs and like why I would not believe and all of these different things. You know what deeply religious people tend to do. They kind of try to force it on you a little bit. And so I started asking her questions. You know, I'm always up for a friendly debate. Don't get rude, don't get disrespectful, be knowledgeable, and we could talk, right? And so I was up for a friendly debate, and so I'm asking her questions back. I'm like, okay, you want to know about my thoughts and how I see things? And oh, honey, when I tell you it got ugly.
He's not a Christian! Every dark-sided person get out of my house. If you believe in Jesus, you can stay here. I rebuke it!
Oh, now I got an evil spirit on me, and now I got all of this stuff. And see, it's just funny because when you start really challenging people don't like to be challenged because, like I've said in previous videos, people don't like to experience cognitive dissonance, right? And so when she's asking me questions, I'm answering honestly, truthfully, as in-depth as I can without it becoming too, you know, much of an attack on her beliefs, right? But when I started asking her questions about her beliefs and kind of, you know, asking those open-ended questions that you can't just say yes or no to, you actually have to explain your logic. People don't like that because that requires metacognition, where you have to think about the way that you think. And people don't like to think about where they got their beliefs from, why they think the way that they do, even though she was asking me all these questions. And so I just noticed that as a very funny thing that occurred in that situation. And like I said, it got pretty ugly, and I'm petty, so I'm not even gonna act like I was perfect. But as soon as I'm disrespected, as soon as you're rude to me, okay, all jokes and all friendliness is off the table. Now I can come for you, and I really don't care. So, and if y'all see me in my previous video, them comments, I claps it back. Okay, I really thoroughly enjoy it. So that's not an issue for me. But I do feel like, and I'm gonna tell y'all deeply religious people right now, don't come in my comments telling me what I need to do. Don't tell me what scripture I need to read, because I'm gonna tell you what you need to read as well, right? And so if you want to give your opinion, be ready for opinion in return, right? And I think that in that situation, it just wasn't a good vibe for her, at least. And you know, I was cool, I was chilling. You could ask me questions, I'm fine with that, because I know it's not common to be an atheist, especially as a Black woman. Like, it's a whole thing. And so, especially not in the South. But I think this girl was in, like, what was she at? Arizona? I think it was Arizona. Yeah, so I don't know nothing about Arizona, but yeah, she was a straight up weirdo. And this not to say that this is all deeply religious people. I'm just talking about my experience and some of the lesbians I've met. I'm not saying that this is all deeply religious, queer, lesbian, gay people. I'm not saying that, but I think that it's interesting that in our community, we still have these individuals who are exploring lesbian, gay, queer, whatever identity you ascribe to. They're exploring that, but also with these deep set religious beliefs that literally condemn their identity. So I feel like my biggest question today for people who are lesbian and deeply religious is like, how do you reconcile? Especially if you're a Christian, because I don't know nothing about other faiths. Technically, I was raised Baptist, not really raised. Like, we went to church on special holidays, and if mama felt bad, like, it wasn't something that was regular. So if you are devout and that's how you feel about God, like, how do you reconcile that with being a lesbian? Because I feel like you can be two things at once, but I think that it shows up in how deeply religious people navigate the lesbian dating space. I feel like you should not have to believe in hell to deserve heaven on earth. And I feel like if lesbians that are approaching the dating scene in the way that I've experienced these religious lesbians doing it, like, girl, why are you here? You don't want to date. You don't want to, like, what? Why are you here? Like, I'm confused. I'm so confused. And like, that's what I experienced. And like, on the more so, not as negative as that one, because like I said, that one got ugly. Like, she got disrespectful, so I got disrespectful right back. Another girl that I met, I actually really liked her. She was so sweet. She was she wasn't even from America, so like she had immigrated here and had a foreign family, and I didn't understand much about her culture, and we were talking about it, and like she just never planned on coming out. So I'm like, why are you on a dating app? So like, this is another thing. I feel like the internalized homophobia that comes with being deeply religious while also holding a marginalized identity that not only your religion marginalizes, but society marginalizes due to part of your religion, but also just because people are ignorant. Like, how do you reconcile that? And I think that definitely played into the dynamics that were set up for these women that I met. Like, very non-committal, very like play. Like, why are you here? Like, I cannot stress that enough. And how do y'all feel about people being on dating apps when they haven't even came out? I feel like you shouldn't do that. Now, I can't be loved in private. I know that. But the girl that I liked, because I thought she was so sweet, I was like, look, we can guess like the whole family thing, but I'm not sure. But we could be roommates. Like, but like I said, I was looking for the shoo-wop doo-wop, so I was definitely like lowering my standards a little bit. Okay, y'all, don't judge me. I'm a dime, but sometimes I put myself on sale. Okay, and sometimes I have to remember that. But like, for real, that ovulating stage be something crazy. So like, I'm, just really trying to wrap my head around this. So like, yeah, like I said, how do y'all feel about people on dating apps that aren't out? Like, I feel like you shouldn't. If you're not out, keep that over there, because I feel like a lot of the times those girls or women, like to play games and be very like I said, non-committal, but they want everything that come with a relationship without having a relationship title, because they're not really to accept themselves. And having a lesbian identity can come with an identity crisis at one point, especially if you were raised deeply religious and you realize that you never liked men, you were never attracted, and you've been hiding this all your life, and now you actually want to explore it, but you're still holding on to, what brings you comfort, what brings you security, because this is your culture, this is all you know. And the way that shows up in the dating space, I feel like really plays into why there's this kind of dynamic with lesbians not necessarily feeling, lesbianism not really being acknowledged. I feel like our relationships are also played with a lot. Like, people think that, oh, no, they're just friends. Like, no, if you're kissing and hunching on her, y'all are not just friends. Stop calling yourself friends. That is so disrespectful to me. Like, you're a lesbian. Like, I can't stand that. Or like this, like, bi-curious stuff. Like, it gets so murky when we get to talking about lesbian identity, right? And then superimposing that with religion just makes it even more muddy. So the main point that I want to drive home here is that the deeply religious lesbians that I talk to, the internalized homophobia was something serious. Like, to the point where can't get to know you. Even though you're on dating apps, you're not open to dating, you're still kind of battling with that demon, right? Because you see your identity as demonic or a problem. And I just don't see how they reconcile that, and how you can get to the other side with still having this God that you believe in, but also being able to love yourself and love your identity. I feel like it's definitely a tricky place to be in. And a part of me deconstructing, evolving, and questioning my reality and my beliefs started with my identity. Child, when I tell you, I went from being a Christian, sort of, kind of, to being a hotep. And you know what a hotep is? I was searching for meaning, girl. I had just got into college, chill. Spirituality after hotep, and hotep kind of spiritual, but hotep comes with it's specifically black. So if you know what a hotep is, you know. I was thinking my white roommate was a lizard, like. But I was also like 19, and you're a freshman in college, everybody on that gas. So yeah, so that was definitely like playing into my thoughts at that time. And so after that, I became spiritual. Like, I was a hotel reader, everything. When I tell you, I have gone through different belief systems, and I've arrived to what makes most sense to me, what is gratifying for my life. And people may not understand that, people may not even agree. I don't care, it's not your life. But I do hope that this space can be for other Black lesbians who are questioning, deconstructing, and evolving. And not saying deeply religious lesbians aren't doing the same thing in their own way. I'm just saying that I just want to be a safe space for everybody to discuss these difficult conversations about our identities and how it's impacting the way that we see our future and our identity. Like, for the longest, I didn't feel like I was ever going to find a wife or ever be able to live in my truth. And here I am today, you know, had to, it's a lot of losses. I feel like deconstructing a part of your identity is a loss. Like, it's a loss of the self that you used to be, the self that you hope for to be from that self, but then you become something new. And sometimes that's scary because you don't know what that's gonna look like, right? And so this video was just a space for me to kind of get off that experience, get some conversations going with y'all about what y'all think and how we should move forward as a community and what it's going to look like accepting everyone, because I did not feel accepted by the community as an atheist, agnostic, whatever you want to call it. Like, I didn't feel accepted. I definitely felt shunned. I definitely felt like, oh, well, if you don't believe what I believe, then we, can't even be friends. Like, it was disgusting. And like I said, I feel like it's definitely the South, but on Facebook dating, I was meeting people from all over the country, and it was a pattern. So I don't know, y'all let me know. But if you got this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, go check out my other video about lesbian dating. It's definitely just as entertaining. And I feel like I just really want to create a community, like I said before. So if you're interested in that, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a good day.